This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports. It's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports. Time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Racing Dudes channel. Boy, we feel like a real network today. This is show number 4 of 5 on the channel today. So we're back. We're back with Dudes Who Bet Sports. I've got the wrong logo up there, so that's a bad start, bad omen to the show. There we go. Now I've got the right one. Papa Dude, this is your second show today. Are you tired or are you ready?
Is this your second or third?
This is my third.
Third.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm ready. I could do 3, I think, this time of the year. You know, lots going on. So
a lot going on. We had already had a loss for one of our best bets, mine. The Cardinals gave up 11 runs today to the Nationals, so that was not good.
Yeah, and who would have thought it? They had their best pitcher going, and they came from behind last night with 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning to beat the Nationals. The Nationals are going nowhere. You would have thought they wouldn't even show up today, and they put 11 on the board.
Yeah, if you would have told me the Cardinals had going to get 6 runs today, I would have said that's an easy winner. And
you better believe it.
They gave up 11. So it is what it is. All right, let's get right into it. We got a lot going on today. The game we need to analyze first is the game that's going to happen tonight. The NFL is back tonight, and we've got a doozy to kick this thing off. The Buffalo Bills, who are the favorites to win the Super Bowl, go to Los Angeles to take on the Rams, who won the Super Bowl a year ago. We've talked about this a little bit on the Dudes Who Bet Daily show, but we'll talk about it here in depth. The Rams are the underdogs, 2.5-point underdogs tonight. Bills the favorite. Who do you like in this game?
Well, I really have a hard time picking this one. I really do. Yeah. It is odd, as you've said a couple of times on the Daily Show, that the Super Bowl winners usually aren't underdogs at home in the opening night or opening game of the week, opening game of the season. I understand why they are. The Bills are everybody's darlings to win the Super Bowl this year. And I understand it, but night game, open the season at home. If I was going to bet, I think I would take the Rams, but I think it'll be a lower scoring game than most people think, but I think it'll be a fun one to watch.
I think it's going to be really good, and we kind of talked about it on a lot of our shows, my biggest takeaway from this game is I think every line is going to be close. I think the over-under is going to be close. I think the team totals will be close. I think the -2.5 plus 2.5 will be close. So I think everybody's going to sweat out this first game no matter what they bet on. I have taken the Rams in this spot. I will play them on the money line as well. I just think if it's a toss-up game, you should go with the team with the better price. That is the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
I truly look at it as a toss-up. I said it on Lakers Off in the show. I think the Bills are overrated, but I also think they're very good. But I just think they're getting too much hype. If they win this game, if they go on to get to the Super Bowl, I would certainly not be surprised. But I just think the hype is insane for this team coming into the season.
That is a very good point. They weren't just awesome last year.
I didn't think so either.
They were once, I think, like 6-5,
something
like that. They were really struggling there for a while, and they came on late. I think the fact that they went toe-to-toe with the Chiefs in Kansas City and should have won might have something to do with it. Everybody's in love with Josh Allen, and deservedly so. I think he's a great quarterback. Yeah, I'm kind of like you. I just think the Rams might be. They lost some players. They might take a little bit of a downward spiral. They're another team that struggled and then came on strong at the end of the season. So I do think it's going to be a really, really good game. I went with the Rams under 26.5 total team points because I think the Bills defense is really, really good. And I think they'll hold them underneath that. A lot of people will disagree with me. I'm looking at a 23-20 type game.
Well, I think that is possible. Like I said, like I told you this morning, I think you're going to sweat that out. I think it's going to come right down to it. So we'll see how that goes. Jason makes a good point. He says the one advantage we have over the books is we decide which games to bet. Nothing wrong with open a cold one, sit back and relax. That's kind of how I feel about this game, but I also feel this way. We're degenerates. Rams money line. So there we are with that.
But I had to make a bet this morning. That was the best one. There was no baseball you could really bet on. You found that out.
Obviously.
Yeah. And I was going to go with Miami against who the heck was the Phillies in Philly tonight. But I just liked the under 26 and a half a little better. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I went with it. I'll be kind of honest. I didn't bet anything. How about that?
Dennis is taking the over 52, and he says Cup anytime touchdown -125.
He's safe there.
That is probably one of the safer ones tonight. Is the Cup anytime touchdown? The Bills' running game's not great. Kevin O says, and yeah, it's hard to argue that they. The one thing Josh Allen can run that helps, but they don't have just a fantastic backfield. No. As far as running the ball goes.
I never had watched him much until last year. Allen, that's what shocked me more than all, more than anything. How mobile he is. Man, he can run, and he kills a lot of teams on third down by scrambling. Yep. And you don't see that a whole lot in the pros. Him and Mahomes are two that stick out in my mind. He's dangerous running the ball. A big dude like that can run it as well as he can. He is a real good player. I don't think the Rams running game's any good either. So I think it's two running games that aren't real strong.
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of passes tonight, and that's all right. That's kind of the NFL right now. There's not a lot of elite running backs left. It's more of a quarterback, wide receiver type of league. All right, I'll give you the option. We can go to the college top 25, or we can run through the rest of the NFL. It's totally up to you.
Well, why don't we get the NFL first, because there is an NFL game tonight. You've got it right up there on the screen, so let's just get that going.
All right, well, let's kick it off with the Sunday games. The Saints and the Falcons will kick off on Sunday. The Saints are 5.5-point favorite on the road. You're going to hear me say that a lot of home underdogs on this slate coming up this weekend in the NFL, including the one we just talked about tonight. Saints, Falcons. Saints are 5.5-point favorite. Falcons, they don't look like they're going to be very good. Saints, you don't really know. New coach, what's going to happen there? What do you think about this one?
I think there's 10 games where the home team is the underdog this weekend, I believe.
Yep.
Of all the games this weekend, this is probably the one I'm the least interested in. I think unless you're a fan of this team, these two teams, you don't really care too much. 6.5 or 5.5, I think that's about right. The Falcons are in total rebuild. Their quarterback situation is not good. So, and again, you hit the nail on the head. We don't really know about the Saints either. Is Winston healthy?
Winston is going to play, yes.
Okay. I think I would take the Saints in the 5.5 for this one. I think they cover.
I'm not touching this game.
I won't bet it, but I think I'd take them.
But I will take the Saints as far as, hey, I have to give out a pick right now. I'm going to give the Saints -5.5, but I'm with Dennis. I'm not betting this game.
No.
And the good news, Jason, there's only one game tonight, so we feel like we have to bet it. There's a bunch on Sunday, so we can skip around a little bit. This is one I'm certainly going to skip. Yeah. All right, let's move on. 49ers, they definitely have championship aspirations. They go on the road to start the season against the Chicago Bears, a team that probably is not going to be playing for any kind of championship this year. San Francisco, another favorite on the road. Like I said, there's 10 of them. San Francisco, 7-point favorite. That's a lot in the NFL. What do you think about this one?
All right. I've got 6 games I really like that I might consider betting out of however many there is. I think there's 16 maybe. I like the Bears to beat this spread. I don't know that they win. I think 7's too much. What do the Bears always have? They always have a good defense, right? 49ers are hurting offensively. I don't think they're real settled at quarterback. I think they win the game. I think the Bears can beat that 7. I've got that as my number 4 out of the top 6 that I might consider betting.
The Bears +7. Dennis agrees. Oh, man.
No.
Kevin Oates says Bears are dreadful. Listen, it does – it's a game. If it's on a neutral field, certainly San Francisco can be favored by more than this. The one thing about it, San Francisco offensively, it's a guess. It's really a guess. So I don't hate it. I'm on the other side. This is another one I don't have a good feel for one way or the other. I'm not touching this one. I think if I had to, though, I would take the 49ers. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one turns out. All right, Steelers, Bengals. This is one I do like. The Bengals 6.5-point favorite as they open up after losing the Super Bowl last year. Steelers, a lot of question marks on this team. Where are you leaning in this one?
I'm assuming you're going to say the Bengals are going to cover.
Yes, I'm with Dick Feldman. I believe the Bengals are going to cover this one.
Absolutely. I totally agree too. That is that one you would think is going to be an easy one for the Bengals.
Yep, I'm with you, and I'm with Nick. I think the Bengals cover this one. I am not a Pittsburgh fan at all. I was scratching my head. I thought this would be a little bit more of a spread, but this would be one of my better ones of the weekend for sure. All right, now let's go on to this one. I think this is a tricky game. The Eagles and the Lions. The Eagles are a 4-point favorite on the road against the Lions. Lions, they think they're improved. They think they're going to be better. I'm skeptical of them being better. I'm also skeptical of the Eagles, so that makes it tough for me. What about you?
Well, it all depends on what you think of the Lions and their improvement they made last year. Are they going to continue to progress? And how down are you on the Eagles? Do you think the Eagles are going to be a disappointment? I think that's where it all goes with too. This is my number 2 best bet. I'm taking the Lions +4.
Lions, Tigers, Bears. Oh my, look at this. He's taking the Lions plus the 4. Well, I'll give it the old jinx. I'm taking the Lions plus the 4. So we're both taking the Detroit Lions in the first game of the year. That could be a long season for us. I think they're going to play them close. I don't know if they'll win because they're the Lions. I like them +4. I'm with you on it. So, well, we agree. This is an interesting comment. Jason says when it's easy in the NFL, I go opposite. So he's taking the Steelers. We saw that a lot last year, so we'll see if that trend continues. All right, I think this is go ahead.
Somebody on the Daily Show today said first week in the NFL is a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot every week, but this one for sure. So I would be very careful this week. We really don't get a feel till after about 3 weeks with the NFL.
NFL especially. Yeah, I totally agree. A lot of trap games, a lot of weird, awkward games this week too, I feel like. So, all right, let's move on. Patriots in the Dolphins. Dolphins are 3.5-point favorite. Big expectations with the addition of Tyreek Hill, a team that was pretty good last year. New coaching staff as well. Take on the old guard here, the Patriots. All right, Papa Dude. I think this is another tough one.
This one is really tough. I am not going to touch this one. I'm not as high on the Patriots as I was last year. Their schedule's really tough this year, and they collapsed down the stretch. And it's going to take me a while to get over that. I think the Dolphins might finish second in this division. I don't think they're going to beat Buffalo. But they might be a playoff team. The way they finished the year, they've got to be riding some momentum. Hill is going to make a difference. They made some other changes too. It's all on Tua. Can he take that next step? He's never had these weapons that he has now. I kind of think that they're going to cover. They're pretty hard to beat in Miami when they're pretty good. So I'm not going to bet it because it's New England and who knows. But I really do think Miami's a team to watch this year.
I'm going to go with the Dolphins as well. I'll take the 3.5 points. I may play this one. I'm kind of on the fence with it. I'm with you. I thought the Patriots were just pretty bad, to be blunt, and I don't know where they're going to get better, and I think the Dolphins are better. So I'll take a minus at 3.5. We'll see. Division game always worries me a bit, especially when it's Miami and New England, but we'll see how it rolls. All right, this is another one. Feels like the Ravens should go into New York and dominate the Jets, especially since Joe Flacco is starting, but it is a Joe Flacco revenge game. The Ravens are a 7-point favorite, so you're going to have to lay some points if you take them. What do you think about this one?
So I'm going to stay away from this one too because we don't know what the Ravens are yet. I mean, they should be better than the Jets. the Jets are making some improvements. They really are, but they lost their young quarterback to injury. What's Flacco got left? I mean, he's never been very good.
No.
So you would think the Ravens would cover. If I was going to bet it, I would say they're going to cover, but it's just one. I can't get on the Ravens bandwagon yet.
No, I can't either. I'm skipping this one as well. I do kind of like the Ravens -7 in the spot, but I can't say it with a lot of confidence. I just think Flacco. I don't want to bet that. If they had Zach Wilson, maybe, but I can't get there with that one. So, but it's a pass overall for me. This one, this could be two of the worst teams in the league. The Jaguars and the Commanders. Washington, a 2.5-point favorite here. What do you think?
Didn't even look at it. I didn't even look at it. I can't stand Washington's name. I don't like that logo. Everything about them just says boring to me. Could be an upset here. Jacksonville, I look for them to improve. I think they've got the right quarterback, and I think you're going to see some improvement in Trevor Lawrence. We know he's got all kinds of potential. To me, he was a can't miss coming out of college. Mm-hmm. So if I was going to bet, I would pick Jacksonville to win this game. But how can you bet this? We got two crappy teams. You just don't know.
It's tough. I will probably take the dog here with Jacksonville. I think I watched a lot of Jacksonville for some reason. They were always like, I don't know, they were always on or on the radio or something. I always followed them like first 8 games. They should have been like 5-3, 4-4. I think they've got players. So if they got a little bit better coach, a little bit better direction, I think they're going to be not great, but better. I'm going to go Jacksonville plus the 2.5. Dennis says biggest dumpster fire, the Jags or AEW. Neither, man. Come on. AEW is hot as ever after last night. And the Jags, they still might be. Maybe the Jags is the answer. All right. Let's move on. Here we go. CM Punk is God actually commented, who does Aaron like between his Browns or his boy Baker? We're now at even. I have a feeling that's because McCaffrey is hurt. So this is now I don't know if he's going to play or not. He's on the injured list. So it's a pick 'em. What do you think, Papa Dude? Browns or Panthers?
You go first. You're the expert on this one. This is easy to pick, though. Who do you like? You just pick them.
I can't get over what Jacoby Brissett looked like last year. And, if they still had like a Case Keenum, I would pick the Browns. But I don't think Brissett is going to be good enough. And I think the Panthers at home, it pushes them over the top. I'm going to take Carolina. I can't get behind Jacoby Brissett at all. So I'm going to take the Panthers here.
Wouldn't you agree? If the Browns had a better quarterback, they have better players across the board.
Yeah.
Panthers, especially if McCaffrey doesn't play. He makes so much difference in that Carolina team. And that's a big, big loss. I think Baker is, if he can control himself. I don't know how he's going to do that. He usually, I know at OU, he played better in games where he had something like this going on. Anytime he played Tech, where he transferred from, he was nuts. And anytime he played Texas, he was fantastic because Texas snubbed him when he was coming out of high school. I'm going Carolina also. Man, it's tough if McCaffrey doesn't play. But I think I would pick them, and that's one of my best bets.
So CM Punk is God brings up a good question here. He said, if the Browns still had Baker, would you bet the Browns? I personally would. Yeah. You got to remember, I've watched every snap of the Browns the last however many years. He was there 4 years. I just feel like when Baker didn't turn the ball over, the Browns won a lot of games. Yeah. And so that's the key to who's playing quarterback there. If Brissett doesn't turn it over, I think the Browns have got a good shot of winning. You just kind of got to manage the game and don't do anything dumb, and you can beat a lot of teams when you're the Browns. Let me take that back. You can be in a lot of games with a chance. They blew a lot of games too that weren't his fault. I mean, I watched Brissett too much last year, and so I just can't get behind him.
Well, I want to point out too, for the 5 millionth time to everybody, Baker Mayfield was hurt last
Right.
year.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to forget. I tell you what, you go out there and you tear up your left shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
even though you throw with your right shoulder. He tore a labrum muscle in his left shoulder. You try to throw a football with your other shoulder hurt.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
Now, the mistake that was made, he shouldn't have played.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing that he did. He played on it, and he shouldn't have.
Well, I blame the Browns management for that too. They should have said, "You're not playing." But they went ahead and played him. And he's going to play because he's such a competitor that he's going to play. And he was in a contract year, and that had something to do with it too.
Yeah.
But the Baker Mayfield of the year before was pretty damn good.
Well, yeah, he didn't turn the ball over. He managed the game. He did exactly what I was telling him.
He played great, and the Browns were great. Let's not forget they could have beat Kansas City and moved on to the championship game of the
They
playoffs.
got a terrible call in there, call in that game, or they probably would have won the game.
Well, I'm just telling you, everybody forgets that.
Yeah.
All I saw was, and everybody's in their mind says he can't play anyway. So that's part of it. I will agree. He was terrible last year, but he was hurt. And if you've ever tried to play with an injury at any level, especially in the NFL, it's hard to do. He should have sat out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's going to he can't have a worse year. I think he's going to have a better year. We'll see. I mean, it's more for me in this game is I cannot get behind the Browns much this season until they get a quarterback, and they're not going to have one for a while. So we'll see what happens, though. It should be a very interesting game. Another one here, Colts and the Texans. Colts are a 7-point favorite. Got Matt Ryan. They've got some high hopes in Indianapolis. Texans, they don't have any hopes, really. But it's on the road, and they're given 7. So what do you think of this one?
I can't get over the Colts. Listen to the Jaguars at the end of last year.
I know.
I mean, they should cover this. There's no reason why they can't. And if it's a close game, of course, it's just the first game of the year. So, you can't tell. Again, staying away from it.
Yeah, I'm going to take Indianapolis -7, but I'm with you. It's hard to make a judgment one way or another until we see the Colts. They have the talent to beat this team by double digits, I think, though. So we'll see if they show up and they're ready. All right, we made it to the afternoon games on Sunday. The Giants and the Titans. I know Samich is not a huge fan of the Titans this year. I know you kind of like, I don't think they're going to be that bad. Titans a 5.5-point favorite to open up here against New York. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know where he's coming up with this. They seem to win 12 games every year. Mm-hmm. They're not impressive. But last year they lost Derrick Henry and just kept winning.
Yep.
So they're very well coached. They're very tough. I do think the Giants are much improved. That line is a little bit touchy. I think this game's going to be close. I'd probably take the Giants plus, what is that, 5.5?
Yeah.
I think I'd take the Giants plus the points.
I'm going to take Tennessee. And I know Dennis says upset of the week. He's taking the Giants on the money line. That's a good bet if you like them, obviously, getting almost 2 or over 2-1. Another one. The Giants may be improved, but the Daniel Jones is their quarterback. So
I just don't think they're going to go into Tennessee and beat them, but they may play them close.
They could play them close. I agree they could cover that, but I don't. I think Tennessee's the more likely team, and I think they can beat them by a touchdown. Listen, Dan. Listen, here's the deal. People forget in the offseason how bad some of these quarterbacks are. They're like, they've made all these improvements and they're going to be better. And it's like, Daniel Jones is still the quarterback. That happened at OU every year when they had Landry Jones in the offseason. Everybody be like, they've got all these weapons and all stuff. And look at Landry and how his stats. And it's like, but you watch the games, like he's not good enough. So that's how I look at that one. So, all right, let's move on. Packers and the Vikings, huge game here. The Vikings are actually the underdogs at home. They're by 1.5, but I mean, this is close. Packers 1.5 point favorites. What do you think?
This is my best bet.
Yeah.
I don't know why 1.5. It shocks me. It ought to be 6. What did the Vikings do last year?
Well, I got a new coach.
Well, big deal. They got same players.
Are you worried about the lack of wide receivers now for the Packers?
Yeah. I just think they cover that. I 1.5. I'm shocked.
I kind of think they're going to win it too.
I don't understand the line. I know Samaj is on them too, and that's fine. I mean, I get it a little bit. And Green Bay doesn't play well early in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Remember last year they got beat like 37-3 at New Orleans, and everybody had them buried. They only came back and won 13 games, I think.
Yeah.
As long as they have the quarterback that they have, and I'm no Aaron Rodgers fan by a long shot, but he's a hell of a quarterback. I think he'll find some receivers, and I think they're better than the Vikings. And 1.5, give me that all day.
I think it might help Green Bay that the expectations are a little lower this year. You know,
Yeah,
they
could.
kind of fly under the radar. I'm picking Green Bay. It's Kirk Cousins versus Aaron Rodgers. I mean, listen. I'm not an idiot. I know there's a lot more to football than the quarterbacks, but again, NFL, these games are usually close. Who do you want to try to win the game?
Absolutely.
Rodgers or Kirk Cousins?
Okay, if Aaron Rodgers is so damn good, like everybody says he is, and he's great, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
How can you not take him when it's 1.5 points?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, until I see otherwise, I have to take that. So
I have to as well. Maybe the Vikings are going to be much improved. We'll see. I wouldn't mind it. I'm not a huge Packers person.
No, I hate them, but
I think I have to listen.
It's just one. If I lose that, I don't care. I'd bet it again next week. So
fair. That's fair. That's very fair. All right, let's move on. Chiefs and the Cardinals. That's a toughie too. I don't think the Chiefs should be 6-point favorites. It's coming down. They were 6.5, but they go on the road to Arizona. I'm not a fan of Arizona's coaching staff, but I do think they've got some solid players. They usually play well early.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this one?
I'm with you all the way. I think the Chiefs might win, but 6 is a little bit sketchy on a team that's pretty good. I mean, the Cardinals are pretty good. Now, funny thing is, they don't play very well at home. If you remember last year, they didn't play very well at home.
Yeah.
And so I think the Chiefs, you're not real high on the Chiefs. I am. But I just that 6 is a little bit high, I think, for an opening game.
I'm going to go the Cardinals plus the 6. I think the Chiefs are a team that's going to get better throughout the season. I really do. I think they are going to win this game. I don't think they're going to cover. And if you remember, the Chiefs, they kind of have trouble covering games sometimes. And 6 is a lot, especially on the road, especially against a team that was a playoff team. I know they struggled in the year, but I think the Cardinals will have success moving the football. I think they'll keep it close. I think the Chiefs are going to win. I'm taking the 6 with the Cardinals here, and let kind of just see what happens. Let that one ride a little bit. All right.
And Dennis says he thinks if the over hits, then the -6 should win easy, which means he's thinking if the over hits, the Chiefs have scored a lot of points.
I think
what that means.
I don't know. Yeah, he's probably right. I think if it's like 38-31, the Chiefs are more likely to have the 38.
Yeah,
so he's probably I would probably agree with that as well. It's an interesting game for sure. A lot of points. I like I said, I think the Chiefs by the end of the year are going to be much better than they are right now. So it's just my take on it. I think it's going to take them 3-4 weeks to get going. All right, Raiders and the Chargers. Boy, they gave us entertaining games last year for sure. Now we open up with them here. The Chargers are a 3-point favorite. These Chargers, I mean, we love them, but we hate their coach. What are you doing in this one?
I love to watch them.
I do too. They're so much fun to watch.
I think Herbert is fantastic. There's people are really good. They just find a way to lose. I think the line's perfect. I think they win, and I think they cover. I mean, 3, I think they do, but man, they're just hard to bet. They really are.
Yeah, I'm with Dennis and I'm with you. This game's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I have them minus the 3. I'm going to bet them. I just feel like this whole off season, they had to look at themselves and say, guys, we have got great talent. Just let them play. Don't get cute. Just let them play.
Roll when you need to.
Yes, just play regular football.
Yeah. When it's 4th and 8 on your 35-yard line, punt the ball. Yeah. Do some stuff like everybody does.
Yeah, Jason almost says this could be the best game of the week. I agree. Listen, I think this division is going to be awesome. I think every game's going to be awesome, and they're so evenly matched. I think it's going to be a great game. So I think the Chargers are going to win this thing. Khalil Mack is a huge ad for the Chargers. I agree. I'm pumped for this game. I'm pumped for the Chargers season. I think they'll end up blowing at the end like always, but I do think they're going to be good. So I'm going to take the Chargers minus the 3. Last one, we will not talk about the Monday game because we'll talk about it on the Monday show. So the last one, the Sunday night game, Buccaneers and the Cowboys. And the Buccaneers, 2.5-point favorites going into Dallas. What do you think?
I have gone around and around and around and around on this one. And we talked about it on the Daily Show again. I think it was yesterday. Me and you both are worried about Brady's psyche going in. And there's some weird stuff going on with Brady. It looks like it anyway. Now, if there's one man in this world that can overcome anything, it's him. Every year before the first game, we write him off. It seems like we're trying to find a way. How can this guy? Because what he is doing is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. He's playing at the highest of levels at 45 years old now, I think? 44, 45. This is incredible. And he was the whole offense last year. He was everything. He had one of the best years he's ever had with very little help. So I don't know why we're doubting him. Dallas lost players. Everybody's down on the Cowboys a little bit. This is Sunday night in Dallas. But when is the last time they've won a big game? That's the thing, Yeah. Will they lay an egg? It's possible. We don't know how good their running game is. Does Zeke have anything left? We know Prescott's fine. We know CeeDee Lamb is fine. They got a good tight end. They lost Cooper. That's a big deal. Their defense, they got a couple of guys that are really good. I can't bet this one. I've gone round and round. 1 minute I say I'm going to take the Cowboys. Next minute I say the Tampa. I like Tampa better than Dallas, so I probably would pick Tampa just because of that. But I just think it's a total toss-up.
I'm going to take a little shot with the money line.
I know you
will. Yeah, I just have this theory, and I'll abandon it in 1 week if it proves me wrong. But I'll take a shot. I think the preparation for this season and the drive to come back, I don't think it's there for Brady. I really don't.
Something's weird.
Something is off. And we've watched this guy for 100 years now, and he just seems a little bit off. Again, you doubt him. That's when he beats you. I realize that. I don't blame anybody for saying I'm not doing this, what he's saying, but I don't know. I don't think the NFL is a league where you can just kind of pick it up and say, well, it's game time and I'm going to raise my game now.
Yeah. And it's just strange why he left the team.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Then he came back. In the press conference that he gave, he just looked frail to me.
I'm worried about it. And let's face it, if he goes south, this season's going to go south for Tampa. I'm going to take a shot with the Cowboys. I get it. Jason says, hey, he's taking Brady. McCarthy's so bad. I get it. I understand. But I don't know. I just feel like this Tampa thing, the wheels might come off of it this year. So we'll see what happens. Charles is taking the Cowboys. And yes, this game kicked it off last year. It was a great game.
What a game. Yes.
Yep. Terrific game.
And yeah. I if he does take a step backwards, I don't think Tampa wins 8 games. I really don't.
That's a deal. I think that division is very dependent on Tom Brady. And if he does take a step backwards, doesn't play very well, gets hurt, something like that, all of a sudden that's wide open. None of them are very good. Who knows what's going to happen? So
I think a lot of people forget how bad Tampa Bay was until he got there.
Absolutely. Yeah. He totally turned that around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Hold on here. He says, okay, so we're going to transition to the college football. So this is good timing. Dennis says he wants to bring up Cardinals, my best bet of the weekend against Central Florida. He says Central Florida -6. We won on a fluke INT last year at home against UCF. Now going down there, we looked awful. UCF -6. I would agree with that one.
Me too. I think that might be my best bet tomorrow. I think they play Friday night, right?
Yeah, you don't want to overreact from one week.
No, you don't.
Even if they would have beaten Syracuse last week, I'm not sure I would take Louisville in that game.
No, here's the thing. If Central Florida plays like they did at the end of the year last year, they got a lot of guys back, and I just don't I don't think Louisville can beat them. I just don't. Mm-hmm. That's a tough place to play. They're going to be ready for that game. And I think -6. I think they should cover that one.
Yeah, I think they should as well. They look pretty solid week one. They didn't play anybody, but I mean, we'll see what happens. I think Central Florida is going to have a pretty good year. We talked about them on some of our preseason shows. We kind of like them to make a little bit of a run this year. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Props. I know Samich likes Allen Robinson anytime touchdown tonight, +145. And then Dennis likes anytime touchdown for Cooper Kupp, and I think that's -125. Magic also likes the over for Henderson's rushing yards. So there's a few props for you if you want to play that. Also at halftime, Dave, if you want to check back, Mike Samich and Mike Spector, better known as Saratoga Slim, will be talking about some bets to make in the second half of that game. So they'll be live at the half. So make sure to check that out as well. All right. College football Saturday. We got another week of it. I love it. Week one in the books. We're back for week two. No games tonight. We would have games Friday, but nobody in the top 25. Move it to Saturday. OU kicking off 6 o'clock, 33.5-point favorites. Pretty similar to last week. Right. This week they got Kent State. What do you think about the Sooners this week?
About what I thought last week. It's about the game. They're all saying that Kent State's offense is much better than what they faced. So that'll be interesting to see. I do think their offense is decent, but they should not be able to stop OU. I would think it'll be whatever. The score will be whatever OU wants it to be.
I did not think OU would cover last week, and they did. I do think they will cover this week. So who knows? It'll probably be the opposite. It was right on the line last week, so it was close. But OU played a game where they deserved to cover. I was going to read you something about Kent State here. I get to my book. Can't find their damn team page. All right. So I think they're thinking, because they scored 20 points on Washington, that they might have a decent offense, right? Mm-hmm. Only 4 guys are back from their offense a year ago.
Didn't they score a lot of points last year?
They did score a good amount of points last year, but they did get 20 on Washington. I get it. I'm not sure what Washington is, though. They are not a very good team last year. We'll have to see. I'm skeptical that their offense will be as good as UTEP's. I thought their offense last week with UTEP was decent. I think it's the same team, but I think this team might not be quite as good as UTEP. That's why I went -33.5 for OU. I mean, I think it'll be right at the number again, though. It's going to be close.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to another game and a bigger game for sure. Alabama goes on the road this weekend to take on the Texas Longhorns. Alabama is a 20-point favorite. We talked about a lot of road dogs in the NFL and how 4 points is a lot. How about 20? What do you think? Can the Longhorns match up at all with Alabama?
Oh, I think they'll play them for a while, but I think finally Alabama will blow them out. I think I looked, and I might have read this wrong because I read it this morning, and I've looked at so many statistics today. I think the first half line on Alabama is 35.
Really?
I believe I saw that.
Way. That can't be
Somebody
right.
check me out on that. I'm pretty sure I saw it.
No. Go ahead. I'll look
And
it
I
up.
wanted to know if Samich would bet that.
Well, I
But,
don't think that's accurate, but
well, while you're talking about one here, I'll look it up real quick. But 20.5 is always is it 20 now? It's come down.
that's 20
Yeah,
now.
20.
Yeah.
You would think they'll cover that. Texas was 5-7 last year. They weren't very good.
Yeah.
They're going to be better this year. I just don't think they have the defense to stay with Alabama. But would you agree they'll give them some trouble early? I think.
No, I don't agree at all. I think they will absolutely get their brains beat in. I don't think this team's anywhere close.
I hope you're right.
It's not really that I don't like. I hate Texas, but to me, I don't even think it's close. Like I don't think it's close. By the way, the half line is -13 for Alabama, not 35.
Oh, well, maybe what was I looking at then?
I don't know. I think that maybe the total could have been 30. No,
That's what I was seeing.
let's see. The over under for total points in the first half is 35. That's
That's
probably
what I was seeing. Okay.
I can't get behind Texas in a game like this. This team lost to Kansas last year. All right. And now they got Alabama. They're gonna have to be way better. I can't see it. I think Bama covers this easy.
What do you think the line would be if Alabama came into OU?
I think they'd be 13.5, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they would cover it.
Oh, I do too.
I don't think anybody in the Big 12 is going to be able to compete with Alabama.
No.
So even if Texas was the best team in the Big 12 and Alabama came in there as -20, I would think about taking Alabama.
Yeah.
I just can't.
And the other thing is everybody says that Texas has got a big home field advantage down there. They don't. It's not that wild a place. It's really not. And at 11 o'clock, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be sold out with Alabama coming to town, but 11 o'clock kickoff, that's a break for the Crimson Tide also.
Well, they lost to Kansas at home last year.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to hear that. They've lost.
It wasn't
2
a
years
good,
ago, they lost to TCU. They've lost to LSU at home. They lost Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. I'm sorry. I'll go Alabama. Texas can prove me wrong if they want. All right. Let's move on. Arkansas State, Ohio State. Ohio State -44.5 here. Obviously, probably going to be an easy win for the Buckeyes. They struggled on offense. Is it a get-right game here?
Well, you'd have to think they're going to come out and play better this week. 44.5 is a ton of points, no matter what. But if they, Arkansas State has been good, pretty good in the last few years, kind of dropped a little last year. That's a lot of points. So if I was going to bet it, I don't know if I'd take that. I might take Arkansas State plus 44.5. I'd probably lose, but I stay away from games like this.
I will take the -44.5 on the Buckeyes if I was going to bet it, because I think they're going to be back, or they're going to try to bounce back and say, hey, we still have a great offense. I think to be extra motivated offensively. So,
well, the thing that scares me is what if they get up like 58-7 and then give up a couple of late scores, and it gets 58-20, something like that. That's what.
Yeah, let me see what their team total is here real quick. Because let's see. That's first half. I don't see their team total altogether. But if you're worried about something like that, the team total would make more sense to bet for Ohio State. Like I said, I don't see it right now. But anyway, you'd got to think it's going to be around 48, 49, I would say. So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So if you're worried about that, you can just bet the team total. All right. Southern Miss in Miami, another one, not a great game. Shouldn't be. Miami 25-point favorite here. Any thoughts on this one?
None at all. I think they cover.
Yeah, they might. I'm not going to bet it one way or the other. That's kind of how it is there. They should get an easy win. All right. This one's mildly interesting here. South Carolina on the road here. They didn't play great, but it was a decent win last week. Arkansas, big win over Cincinnati. Arkansas 8-point favorite here. Now let's remember, this is how much disrespect Cincinnati got last week from the line. Arkansas was a 6.5-point favorite over a team last year that went to the playoff.
Yes.
Now they're just an 8-point favorite against South Carolina, who went 6-6.
It's hard to figure that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess it's an SEC team.
Yeah.
I can think of. Or does Vegas know something we don't know?
Yeah.
Obviously, they don't have any confidence on the number 16 team in the country yet.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas, I don't know why they rated that high myself. But anyway, does anyone worry about Arkansas maybe being a little flat coming into this game after that? Since I don't think so, because it's an SEC team. I have no feeling on this. I think they cover, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. I know that's a wishy-washy answer, but I just don't have a real feeling on it.
Dennis Kaz agrees with you. He thinks they could bounce a little bit here and not well, that's a racing term. Have a letdown.
Dennis, these are hogs we're talking about.
Bounce is a racing term we use for a horse that runs huge and then doesn't run quite as well the next time out. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that happens because it is an SEC opponent. I like the Hogs to cover again. I like the -8. And CM Punk says he doesn't even know where Arkansas is.
That's too good.
It's south of Chicago. Charles like South Carolina. Look, I don't really blame you if you do. I wouldn't talk off of it, but I think it's Arkansas.
CM Punk, Google United States map.
I think it'd be a good game. Make the Razorbacks get it done, though. All right. Wake Forest. Now, Sam Hartman has been cleared to play. I don't know if that means he's going to or not. They're 13-point favorites on the road against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's 2-0, but they've played nobody. What do you think?
That's one of my best bets. I'm taking Wake Forest to cover easy.
I kind of agree. I think they're going to cover. It's not one of my best bets.
Well, it's number 10 out of 10. How about that?
Okay, that's fair. I think a fringe bet there is fair, kind of like how I think of the Cowboys, that money line bet. They should. I don't know if Sam Hartman's going to play. That's the only question mark, but they should. I'm not sold on Vanderbilt. They beat up on a terrible Hawaii team, beat nobody last week. So
and they barely won last week, too.
Yes, exactly. It was very close. So the cat is on my microphone and on my keyboard. I definitely think it's going to be a good game for Wake Forest. But Dennis is right. I don't remember the last time Vandy's 2-0. So.
No.
All right. Charleston Southern goes to North Carolina State. No line on that one. No line on Southern Utah versus Utah. Here's a line.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame trying to bounce back. They played, a Marshall team that's not pathetic. Notre Dame, 20.5-point favorite here. What do you think about this one?
Marshall's traditionally pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame's coming off a huge game at Ohio State. Sometimes, because here's the thing, when you play Notre Dame, that's your game. And this is the game for Marshall.
Yep.
It's an honor for Marshall to go into South Bend and play Notre Dame. They're going to play the best game that they can possibly play. They don't have the athletes Notre Dame does, but the question mark with Notre Dame is, do they have any offense? And if you don't have any offense, 20.5 is hard to cover. And Marshall's decent. That would be one that I would look at. Sometimes Notre Dame struggles in these kind of games. I don't have it in my top 10. It's, as you said, it's a fringe bet. Until Notre Dame shows me they've got some offense, 20.5 is a lot of points.
Yeah, Marshall was decent a year ago. Not great, but decent. They've got a lot of guys back from that team. They had a pretty good opening week. I'm not going to touch it, but if I bet, I would go Marshall plus that 20.5. I think it's likely to be a 38 or not 38, 31-17, 31-14 type of game, and that would mean Marshall's going to cover. So we'll see what happens there. I think Notre Dame wins. I don't think they're going to be all that impressive.
I'll say this. If Marshall gets to 20, you better take Marshall. If you knew they were going to get to 20.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of looking at some of the games they played last year. They put up points on almost everybody. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Should be interesting. All right, Furman and Clemson. No need to talk about that one. No line on that one as well. Appalachian State, boy, they lost a heartbreaker last week to North Carolina, 63-61. And now they have to go on the road to take on Texas A&M, who beat Sam Houston last week. It was a weird game. It got delayed a lot, so don't really take much away from that one. A&M 19-point favorite. What do you think about this one?
That's kind of like the Notre Dame game. We got another second-tier team that's really good. They're always good. Tough loss, though, last week. I don't like that coming into a place like this. I think A&M plays pretty well. I think they cover that.
Yeah, I do too. It's not one I'm real excited to bet, but I do think they're going to cover that spread. I just really think, great minds think alike. CM Punk and Dennis saying the same thing. Sounded like a basketball score. So we'll see. Not a basketball score this week. I think it's going to be A&M by a lot. This one has me really intrigued. Tennessee and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh involved in a dramatic game, a huge win over West Virginia. Tennessee just took care of business against a very easy opponent. Tennessee a 6-point favorite on the road here. What do you think about that?
Depends on what you think of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Do you buy the hype? Are they the 24th best team in the nation? So here you have, if they are, an upper division SEC team against one of the better teams in the ACC. So you got maybe fourth or fifth or sixth best team in the SEC against right now looks like maybe the second or third best team in the ACC. I don't buy the hype with Tennessee. This is my number 9 best bet of the week, so I'm not real crazy about it, but I would go with Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh +6 in this one, simply because it's at home.
I'm with you. I took Pittsburgh plus the 6 as well. I see it going either way. I don't have confidence Tennessee can stop anybody still.
No, I don't either.
And so, last year Pittsburgh went into Tennessee and won. Maybe Tennessee wins this game, but I don't think they're going to cover it. I'm going to take Pitt and move on here. I'm going to take the Panthers. All right, moving on. Washington State goes to Wisconsin. Wisconsin, a 17.5-point favorite. Not a huge fan of Washington State. I'm not a huge fan of Wisconsin. So what do you think of this one?
Well, it's going to be another typical Wisconsin game, probably.
Yeah.
Washington State beat somebody like Eastern Washington or Idaho State or somebody like that last week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or anybody that of any significance. Wisconsin didn't either. I just don't think Washington State will be physical enough to stop Wisconsin's running game. 17.5 is a lot, though. Probably if I had any interest in betting it, which I don't, I think I would take Washington State plus 17.5 just because I'm not sure Wisconsin can score a bunch of points.
I think Wisconsin's going to bully them a little bit, though. I think they're going to be able to run over them, and I think that's going to be the difference. I'm going to take Wisconsin minus 17.5.
You're not going to.
I'm with you. I don't care anything about that. I will just check the score. That's
it.
I don't care anything about that game. Boring as hell to me. Stanford and Georgia, no line on that one. And that, what do you think? If Georgia tried for 4 quarters, how many points could they score, do you think?
80, 85, 90 maybe?
I think they could get to 100.
Well, they probably could.
But, no reason to really pay attention to that one.
Hold on, one second. To me, okay, if you want to be a good FCS program, Division I AA, you don't sacrifice your kids in games like this. This, for a paycheck, all that school is doing is going there for money.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about the players. I don't care. And when you got Georgia on the schedule and you're Stanford, what if you're pretty good? What if you're pretty good? You know you're not going to have an undefeated season. To me, the dumbest thing you could do. I hate that when those schools do that.
I would try to schedule Iowa State, schools like that. I would not schedule Georgia. No.
How about Mississippi? How about Mississippi State?
Yeah. I would try to give myself a chance against somebody like that.
How about Georgia Tech?
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because you might like with like South Dakota State, they could have won last week against Iowa, and it obviously wasn't a mismatch, and I don't think they were real beat up from that game. So,
no. Well, the thing is, South Dakota State's a heck of a lot better than Samford. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Points out, if you want to see the defending national champions, you can see them $34. So,
yeah.
All right, let's go back here. Michigan State, 34.5-point favorite over Akron. Boy, Akron just barely beat St. Francis last week. Now they go to Michigan State. I didn't think Michigan State looked great, but this is not a great opponent coming into East.
This is a mismatch. I probably would take the points, or they're going to cover.
Yeah, I would take Michigan State as well. Akron, they're not great. They're not great at all. All right, moving on. Huge game number 2 for Houston. They survived last week in overtime to beat UTSA. Now they go to Texas Tech. Texas Tech played nobody but won last week. Texas Tech, 3.5-point favorite this week over Houston. What do you got?
Number 1 bet of the week. You knew I was going to say it. Houston Cougars plus 3.5.
I like it. I'm with the Houston Cougars as well. Not a fan of Texas Tech. And I'm not. Now, listen, I'm not encouraged by Houston's first game. Not at all. I did not think it was very good, but they won. And I think that could really springboard them. And I think they're going to be way ready to go to Texas Tech and win this game.
I do too.
So, all right. Sylvan joining us now. He's just got done with work, and Dennis welcoming him to the chat. So that's good as well. All right. We get to the night games down in the swamp. Can they make it 2 in a row? Huge win for Florida last week. No rest for the weary. They got Kentucky coming in this week and Will Levis. Florida's a 6-point favorite. What do you think?
Toughie. This is toughie. Can Florida get back up after that great win over Utah? And how much did that take out of them? And they're going up against a really good Kentucky team. 6 points. That is a tough game for me to pick. I'd say Florida probably overall has better athletes than Kentucky. But Kentucky is so well coached, and Florida is too. I don't know, Aaron. 6 points. It would be hard for me to pick Kentucky in this game. It just is.
I'm going to take Kentucky.
I couldn't pick Utah last week either. So
I'm thinking Kentucky plus the 6.
Well, you might do that, but
I think, and I've said it from the start, I think Will Levis makes a difference for them because he can make plays. And I think they can at least cover. I don't know if they'll win. I think it's kind of a toss-up game. I'll take plus 6 and get those points with Kentucky.
Okay. I can't disagree. I can't disagree. It's a tough game. That one's tough.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Central Arkansas goes to Ole Miss. No line on that one. All right, here we go. USC, this is their first test after beating up on Rice. They now go to Stanford. USC, an 8.5-point favorite going to Stanford. What do you think about this game?
Well, I want to pick Stanford. You know I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. I just can't. They may keep it closer than that and beat that spread. I just can't do it. They weren't very good last year. If they were a little better last year, I could settle on them a little bit. We're going to find out somewhat how good USC is in this one, but I'm going to stick with the Trojans.
I'm going Stanford plus the 8.5.
That's just, come on. You're an OU fan through and through.
This is one of the most experienced teams in the country, Stanford. I still think David Shaw can coach. I think they'll keep it close. I'm gonna go Stanford.
I hope you're right.
Yeah. Listen, right here. Jason's with me. Says Stanford and sprinkle some pizza money on the money line.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope you got. I'd give anything if Stanford win. That'd be the funniest thing I ever saw.
I think it'll be close. I don't know if they'll win. I think they can play them close. You got a lack of experience at USC. You got tons of experience at Stanford. It's on the road. Lincoln Riley track record on the road has not been great as a coach. I think Stanford can keep it close. Don't know if they'll win. I think I'm taking Stanford plus the 8.5 though. So
okay.
All right, just a few more to go, and we got our main event, in my opinion, coming up. But still, Arizona State, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State struggled a bit defensively, but they look great offensively against Central Michigan. Arizona State, nice win. Oklahoma State, 12.5-point favorite. What do you think about this one?
I don't like Arizona State at all. In Stillwater, I think the Cowboys will play a little better this week. I think they cover.
I think the Cowboys are going to cover this one as well. I would not be shocked if it went the other way because, again, Cowboys breaking in a lot of new defensive players. But that was a decent Central Michigan offense last week. I think, this Arizona State offense is decent, but I think Cowboys are a little more focused. I think they improve off that last game, and I think they cover. So I'm with you on that one. Hawaii, they might be the worst team in the country. They go to Michigan this week. That's not a place you want to go to get well.
Nope.
52 points. I mean, I don't know if you want to bet a spread like this, but what do you think of this game?
Same thing I always think. When it's 52, golly, it's hard to pick Michigan. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
So I think you stay away from it.
Yeah, 52, you just got to stay away. Dennis is laughing. I think if you want to bet this game, maybe you go to the Michigan team total. If you haven't paid attention to Hawaii, it's not good out there right now.
No,
they are bad. Let me read off a little bit about Hawaii coming into the season. They only have 6 returning starters, so they got all kinds of new guys. They gave up 63 to Vanderbilt. I cannot remember the last time Vanderbilt scored 63 or if they even ever have. And then they gave up 49 to Western Kentucky. Both of those games were in Hawaii, where Hawaii usually is semi-tough to beat. They got just romped, and now they got to take on Michigan. I don't know. It could be bad for Hawaii.
Yeah, no doubt. Final
game. Boy, this is a doozy.
This is a good one.
This is the game of the week without any doubt, in my opinion at least. Baylor, BYU. BYU a 3-point favorite at home. I thought BYU looked great against South Florida. We know Baylor's brand of football. They're a tough, rugged team. They got to go out here at night. It's hard to win at night at Provo. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, this is really a good one. And Baylor kicked them around last year in Waco. I think BYU's laying for them. The 3 is about right. Baylor is underrated. They are really good. They are sound. They can run the ball. Their defense is good. They're physical. They're going to bring everything they got at this one. But I'm going to go with the another bunch of Cougars, BYU, to win this one.
Papa Dude, loving those Cougars tonight. Yeah. I guess I am too. I will go BYU as well. I think they get revenge. I'll tell you what, very, very tough to go out there and win at night. I don't care who you are. We made money with them all year last year, betting them at night home games.
Yep.
I can't remember who. Let me look at who they played.
They beat Utah.
Yeah, they beat last year. They beat Arizona, Utah, Arizona State. Bam, 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 all at home.
Yeah.
So to start the season, and yeah, they were underdogs. That's right. They were underdogs against Utah and won outright. And then they were underdogs the next week against Arizona State and won outright. So yeah,
they won them 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, everyone loves Cougars. Exactly. So, all right.
Well, let me throw out a few more.
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't do your rest of your top 10. Go ahead.
All right. Now these are ones I would just look at, throw them out there. You guys decide what you want to do. I think these are bettable. The first one is Virginia is at Illinois. I think Virginia's better than people think. Illinois is a 4-point favorite. I think Virginia could beat them. Illinois is coming off a tough loss last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that one. Here's one you go one way or the other with this one because it's only a 1-point game. Oregon State is a 1-point favorite at Fresno State. Fresno State's one of the best teams in the Mountain West. Very difficult to beat them there. I think I would lean towards the Bulldogs over the Beavers in that one. That's a really good game too.
Okay.
How about this one? Texas San Antonio goes to Army and is only a 2.5-point favorite. So if you believe in the Roadrunners, you got to go with them, don't you? 2.5 at Army.
Army lost to Coastal Carolina last week at home.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm sorry, on the road. I'm sorry.
And that played pretty well.
Yeah, it's a toss-up for me.
2.5. I don't know. Another one I kind of like is Syracuse, coming off a huge win over Louisville, goes to UConn. Okay. Mm-hmm. UConn isn't very good, but they have a pulse. 23.5-point favorites, Syracuse. I don't know if they can beat somebody by 24 points. Well, I take that back. They beat Louisville, but 24. I think I would lean a little way, so maybe put a couple of dollars on UConn in this one.
I wish they weren't playing UConn.
Yeah,
Because I do think they're going to not play quite as well this week, but it is UConn, so that's the hard part.
Okay. Jason's got it going tonight. In Utah, you can marry a bunch of Cougars.
That's right.
That's good, Jason. That's pretty good. Then UAB's at Liberty. Liberty was pretty good last year. UAB 6.5 point favorite at Liberty. I don't know about that one either.
I took Liberty to win that game outright.
Yeah, I like that one. And then the big one, the showdown in Ames, Iowa.
Oh, God.
Iowa State at Iowa.
Oh, God.
Best offense in the country. How in the world is Iowa a 3.5 point favorite when they only scored 3 points last week? Really?
Yeah.
I got to take Iowa State in that game, and I'm telling you what, if Iowa State does not beat them this year, they're never going to beat them.
I don't think they're going to beat them.
They may not.
I would take Iowa State, plus the 3.5. I wouldn't bet them on the money line.
I don't know.
I
That
don't know.
those stats were so bad last week. I just don't know how in the world they can score enough points. Somebody said the under here. It was Dennis, under 40.5. That might be the way to go on this game. Iowa finds a way to beat Iowa State every year.
I think they'll beat them. I bet they get to like 20 points this week.
They
bet they beat them like 20-17.
And I am a Hawkeyes fan all the way, so I hope they do. By the way, before I forget it, Sylvain is on, I hope, still on. And for those of you guys that weren't on the early show today, Sylvain sent me, and I so appreciate it, an old Montreal, well, it's not old, it's brand new, Montreal Expos sweatshirt. And it is really pretty. I don't know if you can see it. It is really pretty, and I can't thank him enough for this. I'm not an Expos fan, but this is cool. This is cool, and I've had a lot of comments on it. So thank you very, very much, Sylvain. It was very nice of you.
Yeah, very, very awesome. He told me he's going to send you that, and I love it. And yeah, you were on the show, and yeah, I got some nice comments from the people who were watching. So yeah,
appreciate it.
Very, very cool. Yes, I love it. Even Jared was impressed, and it's hard to impress a fashionable man like him. So.
It is. I think he wants one.
I think he does too, but Sylvain, don't send him one.
It is a great logo, Jason. Let me see here if I can get that. I'm not very good. I'm like Saratoga Slim. He doesn't know how to do this, and I don't either.
No, he doesn't.
See, I'm having trouble. There it is. There's the Montreal Expo logo.
Yeah.
And as we were talking about today, what a great bunch of players. They had two great teams, one in the 80s, one in the 90s.
Yeah.
And anyway, awesome gift.
Yep. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Love it. There you go. Sylvain's here. Well deserved. I don't know about that, but
I have to question your intelligence a little bit there, Sylvain, but I appreciate it so much.
Hey, I can vouch for Sylvain. Good guy.
You better believe it.
All right. Well, that's it. You said you had a little surprise topic.
Well, that's a little topic because this seems to be what everybody loves the most about this show. And I want you guys to come up with something on here too. All you guys in the chat you guys in the chat have got, now we kind of know you. We don't really, but we kind of do from the way you are on the chat. So you guys come up with something too.
Okay.
All right, Aaron, this is for you. And I don't know the answer.
Okay.
Something you like to do that would surprise people.
Something I like to do that would surprise people.
Yeah, something that people wouldn't think you like. Now, maybe you don't have time to do much. I don't know.
Well, here's the problem. Wrestling is the answer, but people all know it. You know, that's something I tell people that is very surprising.
Yeah.
That's my best answer. But again, people on here know that.
Yeah.
Something else. I mean, that's the answer. You know. No, I don't hunt cougars. No.
Jake, get cougars off your mind right now.
Now, I'll say this.
Okay.
Again, it's not the answer for the show, but it is the answer when I'm out in the general public.
Okay.
Many people, as in every person I've ever met that's new,
Mhm.
they're floored about horse racing. They don't know what it is, and they can't believe that I do that. So
So you
my
mean
weird stuff, though, I put out on the air. That's the problem.
so? Well, you know what? I think it's weird, the wrestling part, because I'm not into it, but a lot of people are. So
Right.
probably though, if they knew you, they would. If they didn't, well, if they do know you and didn't know you liked wrestling, that would surprise them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That has to be mine. Yeah.
Well, I've I had so many students over the years, and when I told them I liked to do this,
Mhm.
they were always shocked. Always.
Okay.
I love to read.
Yeah, I knew that.
I absolutely love to read. And normally a sports person doesn't like to read. I think that's what always threw my students when they would, we would always do little topics like this from time to time because I wanted to know something about them too. And I'll never forget this one kid. He was kind of an outlaw. And he raised his hand. He said, "I'm really embarrassed to say this, what I like." And I said, "Well, do it. We want to know." And he said, "I love Taylor Swift." And he admitting that, and I do. I like her too. And I just died laughing. And I said, "Oh my God, I do too." And I hate to tell anybody that.
I'll tell you this. I love Red Dirt music, and you can look that up. Many of you might not know what it is. I love Red Dirt music, so that is something like I like going to little dive ass bars.
There you go.
Red Dirt music.
Yeah. Now I don't like Taylor Swift's new stuff. I liked her country stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And I loved it. And I hated to admit that to anybody.
Yeah.
But, here I was like 55 years old, and there she is, 16, and I loved her music. I thought she was such a talent.
Yeah.
So the other thing that throws people off, and Aaron, I like to do this too, and it kind of makes me look feminine, but I don't care. I love to grow flowers.
Yeah, you do.
I love to grow flowers. I absolutely love it. And I can't grow anything edible. I can grow tomatoes a little bit.
Right.
I love to grow flowers. And Dennis, I wouldn't think it's weird that you like rock music.
Yeah, there you go.
I think you should rock music.
Makes sense. Jason says he's going to Carrie Underwood in February.
Yeah. I would go to watch. I don't really care for music too much, but
so there's two bands that I would go see, and this is the truth. These are the only two music acts I would go see right now because I don't really I don't dislike music, but I don't really like going to concerts. But
I don't either.
Cross Canadian Ragweed, if they came back, it got back together, or Jason Boland. That's it. And you guys probably have no idea who either one of them are. But
well, I've heard of Cross Canadian Ragweed.
Yeah.
I think I'm allergic to it right now.
Yes, probably so.
Yeah, CM Punk. Carrie Underwood is nice to look at.
Yeah, sure. I would agree.
I don't know if I would go to any concert because I don't like to smell pot.
Well, I mean, that's a problem now if you go to a concert. For
sure.
And that's really a problem if you go anywhere anymore.
Yeah, it is.
Go to Saratoga.
Oh, is that right?
Oh no, not really. But
if the main guy I like the most in the Eagles is dead, Glenn Fry. Hill is touring with the Eagles now, and I think that would be one I wouldn't mind go see them, one last time.
Yeah. Sylvan, you could kind of smell it at Saratoga at times. Well, at the Paddock Bar for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the crowd,
I saw.
Jason got seats close to the stage. So.
That's good. That's what you want to do. That's for sure.
All right. Well, do you have any other questions? That was a good one. We've got time for one more.
Okay, here you go.
Okay.
The animal you would want to be if you could be reincarnated and come back as an animal.
Oh, my cat. Absolutely.
You would come back as a cat.
That cat's the greatest. Yeah. Lives the greatest life.
That cat is great, but let's not forget that cat got thrown out of a car.
Yeah, but I mean, if a specific animal or just an animal in general, like
species.
Okay. Come back as an animal.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I would come back as an otter. Everybody always laughs. Go see otters in a zoo. What do? Nothing but fun. They just swim all over the place. They have fun. They roll down these things, or they swim down there, slide down these things on their belly. They're cool. They're really cool. An otter or a dolphin. See, I want to be, if you're in the water, like a dolphin doesn't have very, they don't have very many enemies.
An otter for real? I mean, come on.
Love to be an otter. What's he do? He just swims all day. It's pretty cool.
Sylvain says a bear. He could sleep all winter. I like that.
Yeah.
Otters in Arkansas? No.
A bear has to be outside in the weather.
Ever watch a panda in a zoo? They look like they're always drunk.
I don't know if I've ever seen a panda in a zoo.
I would want to be like a lion or something, like, I want to be something powerful, I guess.
I think gorillas are
gorilla would be cool. Yeah.
They're absolutely awesome.
They are cool.
Fascinated by them.
That's
They're
a good
so
one.
intelligent looking.
Yeah.
I love giraffes.
Yeah.
They're so cool.
I think a gorilla actually is a better answer. Yeah. To be clear, we did not throw the cat out of the car.
No, they didn't. No, they rescued it.
The cat was thrown from a car. He ended up on our porch, actually, hiding in our plants, and we had to rescue it. Yeah, but she had no bottom lip. They had to repair her lip. It was an ordeal, but she's living her best life now. Trust me. So
you want one more?
Exactly, Jason. That's what we all would want to be tonight.
Yeah. You want one more?
Yeah, one more.
Your go-to comfort binge TV show.
Oh, The Office.
That's your number one?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Something about The Office it's easy to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to watch.
Yeah.
I like it a lot too. I love to just sit and watch Seinfeld. I can watch it all day.
Yeah. I think The Office and Seinfeld are very similar. Thankless shows.
Yeah. I like Cheers too.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, Cheers. That's good. Yeah. Do you know what Magix is?
No.
Frasier.
Oh boy.
I swear to God, he loves Frasier. I swear to listen to this story. He watches it to go to sleep. He cannot go to sleep without watching Frasier.
Really?
So one night, the first night we ever stayed in the same, very careful how I phrase this, in the same area. We were at Del Mar and we got a condo, and there's 4 or 5 of us in this condo, and it's late. You could imagine we've been out a lot. We've been on the beach. It is late. I am exhausted. He gets his computer out and he is blaring Frasier.
Oh my.
And I got up and I said, dude, what are you doing? What? It's like 2 a.m. We got work to do in 5 hours. You got to get him to do your work. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm sorry, I cannot go to bed without Frasier. Like we drank a gallon of beer and you cannot go to bed right now without watching Frasier. It's like, I just can't do it.
Oh,
I mean, it's crazy.
Right? He was on here. Sylvain says married with children.
He said he learned English with Married with Children.
He learned English with Married. That was a classic show that was a little bit ahead of its time.
It was a good show.
It was really good. But yeah, I loved another one that I've seen a lot of them now is because it's on every night on TV Land is Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah, I don't love that show, but I could watch it if it was on. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, Sylvain, not a lot, but I know of a few people that learned English from watching the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
Remember that kid that OU had played basketball from Mexico?
Yeah.
He learned how to speak English by watching the Andy Griffith Show.
Nahara?
Yeah. After he got to Norman, he watched the Andy Griffith Show and learned how to speak in English.
Yeah, incredible.
I don't know. We learned how to speak it well, but anyway.
I will before we, is that it? Is that all the questions?
That's all the questions.
Okay. All right. I do want to address CM Punk. I hope Dennis is still on. I want to address the AEW situation. I want to make my statement. This is the perfect show to do it. Here's the deal. They made the right move. You got to suspend these guys. You can't have executive vice presidents acting like that. You can't have a wrestler, no matter who it is, go to the media and do what he did at the pay-per-view on Sunday. You can't. The suspensions are fine. That's what should have happened. Punk's hurt anyway. I kind of think Punk did that because he knew he was hurt, and he was like, well, the hell with it. I'm gonna bury these guys. I'll be back in 8 months. No big deal. I don't think anybody's gonna get fired. I don't think they should. I think the suspensions were fine. I think they handled everything fine. I think they made the right moves here. So I think CM Punk being gone is sad, but I still think AEW is in good shape. I thought it was a good show last night. So there you go.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to relax. I think they're going to be just fine.
Jason, I like your first two shows. I'm a little bit worried about you on the third one.
I don't think it's terrible, but I like the other two better. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the early matches when Trapper was on. I didn't care for him later on.
So no more drama. No, I think there's going to be some drama.
in that.
I feel like this was boiling over. I think it's out of the way now. I think Punk being gone, we'll see what happens when he comes back. Look, he's a guy that's gotten injured twice now and had to have surgery. His desire to keep doing this might be kind of low at this point too. He may have went into that press conference knowing I just won the world title. I'm going to have to vacate it again. And he was just depressed. I mean, I think when this all calms down, that's going to kind of be the explanation. So, look, we got MJF back. I think things are going to be just fine. I thought Moxley did a great promo last night. I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be fine. 2.5 Men. That's another one for sure.
Oh, that's classic. I love that one. Now, Sandy hates it.
I like that one. It's a
I don't think women like that show very well.
No, I think you're right. Chris up in New York, he loves it too. So we watched it a lot when I was up in New York for a month. So
women don't like Charlie very well.
No, and I wonder why.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah. Like I'll turn it on. I'm just dying laughing, and she goes, "I really don't like that show."
Yeah. I get it. Well, a lot of people do like this show for some reason, so we keep doing it. We appreciate everybody coming on. Listen, the game's about to kick off, so everybody go watch the game now. Come back at the half. Saratoga Slim, Mike Samich right here. I don't know how long they'll be on, 15, 20 minutes, and I think they'll be doing some fun stuff. So, all right, guys, we're going to get off here.
Be shocked if it's only 15 to 20 minutes.
I will be too. I've heard there's slides. I've heard there's all kinds of things. So we'll see.
All right.
Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the games all weekend. We'll be right back here Monday with you guys. 6 o'clock. We will be talking, doing what we do. So thanks, everybody. And we'll see you Monday.
This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports. It's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports. Time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.